we're going to start to add color and vibrancy to Liz's face. It's going to be so fun because this is when you get to feel like you're playing again in makeup. All right, so first we're going to set everything that we've done, and we're going to use our baked powders because our baked powders are cream baked into a powder form. So this is a terracotta sheet base that the powder, well, the formula is actually poured and then it's baked in an oven. And then that way, I love baked powders for any mature skin because it's not going to set in fine lines. It's going to keep that dewy, moisturized look. Okay, so I'm going to just basically tap on the powder. And this again is just going to give us a nice platform for color, because sometimes if you have that too much of that dewy look, the product can move around, shift or slide around, and we don't want that because, you know, Liz is a coach and she's doing lots of Zoom calls and she's working with people in sometimes a setting where you're kind of sweating or you're changing the climate. Sometimes it's going to be air conditioning, sometimes it's going to be heat on, and sometimes she's changing location of where she's going. So we want this to stay so she doesn't have to think about it. Now notice I'm making sure I get around that hairline, which is very important. I'm going up in the hairline. There we go. And then I'm checking the peripheral of the face. So I want to make sure I get that chin, make sure I bring it down on the neck. Okay, there we go. Next step is we're going to start to contour out the shape of the face. So I like to do this with there's a couple options brush-wise. There's a dome brush that you can use, that it's a pointed dome, so it really tapers when you're doing this. I like that brush. Then if you have a powder brush at home, you could always pinch it together, and that's a way to taper it. So I want to go, now with mature skin, you want to be careful that you're not making the face more gaunt, because we tend to lose fat in our face as we get older. So you don't want to contour if it's not needed, okay? Because if you do that, you're going to make them look more hollow. So I just want a slight definition, just right in here, very little. And then I want to contour right here, because this is where all of us tend to have a little laxity in our skin. And then also I like to always taper around the forehead. And then go ahead and turn for me. And then I'm tapering again a little bit right here, but I'm not doing too much because I want her face to have some fullness right there. Then I'm tapering right along there. And then again, right up on that forehead. Okay. And then my favorite is I take and pinch and do the sides of the nose. And this really kind of tapers the nose to make it look more narrow. And then always right underneath the nose. Okay. There we go. And always under the jawline, because this area here is what we need to firm up, and I have it too. Okay, so now we have all of the shape, the shape of the face kind of down, like where the high points, low points that we want to do. So we're going to choose a little bit of blush, and typically we have like tons of blushes at Color Me Perfect, but you don't want to add shimmer necessarily to areas where fine lines are, because sometimes that like makes the fine lines, enhances them. So you want to use something not necessarily matte, but a pearlescent finish. So I'm going to go with a color called Terracotta. Terracotta is one of my favorite shades. Obviously Liz has a warmer skin tone, And she's got that really pretty hair where it's got some warmth in it. So we're wanting to smile for me. So you want to go on the upper part of the cheek. So you don't want to drop it down. You want to keep that upper. So you want to smile. Go ahead and smile. And then when you look in the mirror, you're going to apply right on the upper side of the cheek, and you're going to like lift up, swoop up. Okay, so you don't want to put the blush too low, because then what happens is it makes you look mad or drops your face. Okay, now we've gotten some color there. Some makeup artists also, they'll kind of go across the bridge of the nose. You can do that as well. Just be careful that you don't end up with the red nose.